Hi, my name is Matteo. I'm from Italy. I've been supporting Sunderland since 2010. How are the lads?
Hello and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the Sunderland AFC International Fans Podcast. My name is Lee Thirkell. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and tonight we're going to review the West Brom draw last night, a fifth draw in a row. To do that with me today, I've got my fellow Bilbao Black Cat member, Mark Beston, who's in Vitoria-Gasteiz, an hour down the road. Good evening, Mark.
Evening.
And I've also got Dermot Ledwith, who's in Madrid, somewhere near Atletico Madrid Stadium, right, Dermot? I think that's where you live.
I am, yeah. I'm just about 10-minute walk up the road from Atletico's ground, which is nice on a match day. If I get a free ticket, I have a wander down and go with a few mates who are Atletico season ticket holders as well now and again. But yeah, I'm just in Madrid there.
Yeah, lovely. And today is like the anniversary of Atletico Madrid and the red and white shirts. The first time they wore the red and white shirts was on this day in 1910. And we believe that they came from Sunderland, just like the Athletic Club Bilbao ones.
Well, they definitely came about because of Athletic Bilbao, don't they?
Because they were part of Athletic Club, weren't they? Like they were like basically the affiliate club in Madrid until was it 1920, 1921 they became independent from them, I think, something like that.
I think there was a link between the two, yeah.
Yeah.
So Atletico Madrid wear the red and white because of Bilbao, and obviously you're backing the claims that Bilbao wear red and white because of us.
Yep. Well, and then basically we've got kind of research that suggests that the shirts came from Sunderland to the guy who lived in Bilbao who had a shop. It's a long story, but the three are linked.
It's a good one. Well, I've been in Madrid for years and telling Atletico Madrid fans that they're basically just Sunderland's third team because they wear the red and white from Bilbao, who wear the red and white from us. So I do that to wind up the Atletico Madrid fans now and again.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't
give them a bit of history. Sorry,
they wouldn't be the first because I mean Sparta Rotterdam also wear red and white because of Sunderland, and that's
is that right?
That's actually official. Like the Sparta Rotterdam website actually says that some directors traveled to Sunderland. I think it was like 1899, and they liked the kit and they took some back. And then since then they wear red and white. But I mean that's the link with all these like cities had ports and had huge basically shipments of coal of whatever. Bilbao, Bordeaux, Cardiff, Sunderland, Rotterdam. It's all connected somehow, isn't it? So, but anyway,
sense.
yeah. Anyway, so last night, lads, we had a fifth draw in a row. Just gonna knock off some stats for you first. We had 57% in the match, only 2 shots on target in the whole match. Apparently, we had 17 shots in total, but only 2 were on target. 13 corners, and well, they had 14 goal kicks. So that suggests that we had a lot of possession in their kind of half, didn't it? And we just couldn't get a goal. So, Mark, I'll start with you. What did you make of that first half?
I thought they played well. The usual was missing, but they created a lot of chances. They didn't look like conceding in the first half, really. And it's just frustrating at the minute because the only thing that's missing is the goals on the scoreboard. I thought they played well in the first half. I thought Neil and Rigg had a good game again. I thought Watson, for the type of player we can expect at his early stage, contributed, looked dangerous, and I think it's there. It's just not coming out on the score sheet at the minute.
Yeah. Devin, what do you think about that? Would you agree with Mark?
You said a few things there. Frustrating as one. We're not getting the goals. The first half was a bit poor. We were better in the second, but we weren't bad in the first half because we took the game to West Brom, and West Brom just defended and dug in, and I didn't quite understand that stat that was on Sky as well, and we had 17 shots, but
A lot of
like,
them were just like
what
snapshots out the box, weren't
yeah,
they? Though I mean,
but what are they counting now as a shot? Because a lot of them were blocked.
yeah,
They were just getting a leg in on the edge of the box, and it wasn't even going out for a corner. It was just like getting blocked and going back into play.
yeah. No,
I think
that's
we had one shot. We had one shot on goal in the first half, which was Isidore.
yeah.
Which the keeper he tried to hit the one twice, didn't he? And he turned on the second one, and the keeper saved it fairly easily. But yeah, I mean, I think we were better in the second. We'll talk about that now, I guess. But first half, yeah, we didn't create a lot. Tommy Watson, as you said, showed some nice touches and and I think he did the only couple of decent corners we had all night when he took them short.
Yeah,
He did one in the first half, and I think he did one in the second half.
because he's got that burst of speed, hasn't he? Where he'll take a short corner with Roberts, he'll get the
Yeah,
ball back, and because he's got space in front of him. That's his game.
yeah.
Knocking it in front, and he knows that over 5 yards, he can easily beat a player.
He was impressive over with them last night. He did it twice, and once he burst into the box, and I thought he was going to create a goal. But then also, I think in the first half, especially the second half, he tired a bit. But in the first half, he got knocked off the ball a few times as well. But that's normal. It's his second game. He's lightweight and he's young. But yeah, good. It's all positive from him anyhow. He's going to be a good player.
He's
Right.
got a tendency to shoot too early. Yeah? He gets in the first half. He was constantly trying to shoot from outside the box. I think he has to mix that up a bit.
I think that's what a lot of them block shots were. When they said 17 shots, a couple were from him that were like blocked by a fella stood right in front of him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think he's also suffering a little bit because of the way we play with those like attacking triangle patterns that we do. Teams have kind of cottoned onto that, and they basically do an overload on the wings, don't they? They put 2 or 3 people out there, and Tommy Watson, he likes to come inside, and he's basically getting the ball, and he can't come inside because he's just getting crowded out. And then when he's going on the outside, he's not getting past them enough to get a ball into the box. For me, I would say keep him on the bench and then put him on for the last 20 minutes because I think he's more effective when the game opens up. He's got space to run into. I think he'd be much more effective than starting the game when a team's like organized, structured, and they've got a grip of things. Because I think listen, Patrick Robertson was the same. He wasn't very good last night. Yeah, he played a couple of balls through to Isidore, which was like the only time Isidore got played through. But apart from that, he's not doing it. Yeah, he's trying, but it's just not coming off for him.
Well, but as you say, if they're overloaded on Tommy Watson on one side, then there should be more space on the other side for.
That's the thing. We're not getting the ball out fast enough, I don't think. I mean, I think that's also like when Luke O'Nien gets the ball, he's able to ping a ball 50 yards, 60 yards over the other side and gets us on the attack. And I think that's one of the options that's missing now, isn't it? Like, because he's playing right back or left back. I think if we had those, like him pinging those balls, we'd be able to get on the front foot faster.
I think Roberts.
What you said there. Go on.
Go on, Mark.
I was just going to say, I think Roberts is struggling a bit this year. I think he's frustrating me sometimes because he's sort of. I hope he's not turning into sort of a one-trick pony coming on inside. But then, as you say, you have to be patient with him because it's a type of player that can, suddenly give you that one magic moment that will give you that one goal we need. So it's difficult conundrum.
Yeah. Would you put Watson on the bench and then bring him on, Mark, for the last 20 minutes? Do you think that's a more suitable role for him right now, or do you think that he needs to play because of Mundo's injury and because it doesn't seem we have anybody else to play left wing?
Yeah, I think at the minute I prefer Mayenda coming off the bench because he's stronger, physically strong to take on defenders that are tiring. So I'd sort of give Watson his minutes and then bring on somebody a bit more explosive towards the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, because last night Mayenda came on the left, didn't he? He came on the right against Millwall and he looked all right. Well, he started against Millwall, didn't he? And he looked all right. But last night he came on the left and he just didn't get into the game at all. Did he not, Dermot?
Though he was very good at Millwall, and so there's like you've got a perm two out of those three at the moment, haven't you? Mayenda, Watson, and Paddy Roberts, and you know, Paddy Roberts is frustrating, but he's a very good player with the ball at his feet. He was getting some stick on the message board I saw after the game last night, which I think is unfair because he always looks as if he's going to do something. I mean, we know that his goals aren't very. We don't hardly get any goals from him in the last season or so. Season before, you know what I think Paddy Roberts needs is someone to play off and play with. He played with Diallo brilliantly, and that's why them two were so successful.
Pritchard as well. He played with Pritchard as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I thought now and again, him and Rig last night kind of had a couple of little interchanges of quick passing and nearly got through on the edge of the box a couple of times in the first half, I think. And I think it just needs a bit more of that for Paddy Roberts to really explode again this season.
Yeah.
So I would definitely persevere with him and you perm one of the other two at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, is there a case for maybe he's like give other players a chance, Mark? Like, I mean, we've got Roosin on the bench. I mean, or is he just there to make up the numbers?
On the bench at the minute, I'd still stick with Isidore as the main striker. I think he's definitely the striker that, again, he had two good chances yesterday, offside by a foot, So in terms of Roosin, I haven't seen it from Roosin yet. Connolly does an okay. Alexic, missed a bad chance against Millwall, but looked lively. So I'd be tempted to give Alexic a chance, maybe to make a fourth option apart from Mundell, Watson, and Roberts. Maybe give him a chance.
Well, I wouldn't be against seeing Roosin on the wing because I think he's more of a winger than a forward. Because if he's going to play up front, he needs a partner. But I wouldn't mind seeing him on the wing because I think he's got that kind of I don't want to call him a headless chicken, but he runs around a lot and he's got that bit of bite to his play. So
he does. But the thing is, he
hasn't played in donks.
There's him and his Ashush as well, if that's how you pronounce it. I might be wrong there, but who he hasn't trusted enough to bring on in the last two games.
Yeah,
Roosin and Ashush, the pair of them. Sitting on the bench, and we need, I think it shows a lack of depth in the squad, and which has been the big problem over the last 5 games that we've drawn. But we've drawn the last 5, but we're unbeaten in 10. So there's a positive in there. We're very hard to beat.
But we're very solid at the back. I mean, as you mentioned, 10 games, unbeaten, 5 draws in there. But the flip side of that is that we were, before those 5 games, I think we were 5 points clear at the top. But now we're third and 2 points behind. And I think it just shows when you get these opportunities, you have to take them because that's what makes the difference at the end of the season, isn't it?
Well, I think it's been very frustrating, as you say, as we've all said, that word frustrating, but with these 5 draws, because we could have won all of those games. Maybe not the QPR one. I didn't see the QPR one, but we went down to 10 men, didn't we? But all the others, the other 4 draws out of the last 5, we could have won.
Yeah,
every one of them. And Mark mentioned, we'll talk about the second half, but Mark mentioned that Isidore goal, and I've seen people today saying it was actually onside. There's a foot playing them onside, and if there was a VAR, he would have, if VAR was in place in the English Championship, it would have possibly been given the goal. So very fine margins, and we could have won it.
Yeah, it would have been nice as well if the linesman had given the benefit of the doubt to Isidore. Yeah,
I did my usual a month ago after we were 5 points clear of getting overexcited and putting in all my social media that I could smell promotion again and all this stuff. Like every fan was on the 27th of October. And, I think you just got to think that we've had a frustrating month. All it'll take is one to get it going again. So try and see the line. And I think, if you compare the tables when we were 5 points clear to suddenly be only third, 2 points, 3 points behind the leaders, you've got to see that as a positive, It is frustration getting all the draws, but if you'd have let some of these other teams win, they'd catch you up. So I prefer him to not risk to go for the wins at the end. I think that's a bit more mature, but it is frustrating.
Yeah,
But
no,
one of them, Millwall was in the 90 whatever second minute. Yeah, it's just so little.
yeah, no. I think listen. If we, for example, if we get a result at Sheffield United on Friday and we drew last night and we drew against Millwall, but we won the other three games, everything would be hunky dory. We'd have settled for that. I mean, we'll settle for it anyway because if we get three draws against teams in the top seven, yeah, you're happy with that. It's just those three games before against not poor opposition, but teams struggling at the bottom of the table. You'd expect that if you're going for promotion, those are the type of games that you got to try and pick up wins. But I mean, listen, we haven't, and it is what it is, and we're third, possibly fourth tonight. I think if Leeds win, but we'll see. Go on, Dermot.
I think as well. This you could look at the positive side. Say if this is our blip, we're unbeaten in 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good blip to have. If we get back to winning ways, if we lose at Sheffield United, then we are really on a downward trajectory. But if we win at Sheffield United, we could go top again by Friday night. I think we could even if Leeds win tonight, I think we could still go ahead. We'll see. Friday's a massive game, and we'll see what kind of a team we're able to put out. But I think they've surprised us. They're definitely at that top level of that league. They're definitely in the top 3, 4 on merit. Just think that we've struggled with losing players. I think one fellow who came back last night, Job, didn't have his best game, but I think we saw why. We missed him in them 3 games that he's missed because he's
the energy. I think it was like the high press was visible.
Yeah.
It was very evident. I think, but yeah, he
He's
didn't have the
important,
best of
isn't he?
games. Yeah. But I saw a comment on social media saying like people should calm down because we're overachieving this season. I don't think we are overachieving. I think we are where we're supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? Like I mean, last season, I think people are basing that on last season because of the bad end that we had. But like last season, we were 7th when we sacked Mowbray, I think, and then it all went tits up after that. But we weren't a bad team last season. Yeah, we probably underachieved last season. This season, are we overachieving? No, I think we're where we're supposed to be. But this league is very kind of unforgiving, and you've got to take your chances. And we haven't taken our chances, but that's the way it is. I mean. There's no kind of negativity. It's just like observations of like, yeah, there were positives. We've got 10 games without a loss, but what if we'd have won a couple of those games and we were like still 5 points clear? You know what I mean? Those are like the fine margins, aren't they?
I think it's difficult on that because if you look back in the summer, then some people were criticizing the signings. Maybe saying there are unknowns coming in again. So far they've worked, and I think a good sign. I think even though the squad isn't perfect, it's better. And if there is a reason where Alchis and Barr and even a little bit Rusin aren't getting near the team, is because there's better players than last year. So, are we overachieving? I thought we'd have a good chance this year, but I didn't expect them so high. I didn't expect them around 7th or 8th this year at this time of year.
I think we're overachieving because after last season I didn't expect us to do anything more than mid-table. But as we've said, those signings were good. So those signings are good, and now 3 players who were getting minutes last season aren't playing, and they've got to try and they've got to keep going. They've got a window of opportunity in the transfer window to putting the money where the mouth is, and I'm a bit of a, and I argue against the owners. I think they've done a good job. I think the director of football's done a good job. But I think now they've got to stick or twist and say, we're going to be in the top 6 at least. We've got to strengthen this team and really make a big push for promotion. And I think because we've lost a couple of players in those last 5 games. They should be looking now at who they could possibly bring in the new year to help us just give us that little bit more that would have got us more than 5 points in them last 5 games.
Yeah, well, Labrisse's comments were interesting in the pre-match interview because they asked him the transfer window is like coming soon, are you thinking about new recruits? And his answer was kind of like, well, we have a lot of players injured, so when they come back, we'll have a much healthier squad. So he was kind of hinting that we won't do that business. We won't do much business. But I'm thinking it surely like Bar and Sheesh have to go because if they're not playing, we want them off the wages, no, and get someone else in. So I'd say at least two people are going to come in, two players.
Well, that'll be with a view to strengthening what they've already got. So, if as we said, if they didn't put Bar and Ashish on the last couple of games, it's because he obviously doesn't fancy them to do a job. So,
Yeah. Right, Mark. O'Nien played right back last night, and Hume got moved to left back. I thought that was very strange. What about you?
Yeah, I think they're both flexible players. So I thought it was quite interesting yesterday because I think A9 got forward quite a lot, and I think they gave A9 more permission to go forward than they did Hume on the other side. And I think that's because to know that the three with Hume, who's played centre half before, almost drop into a back three, and it let A9 go forward a bit. So whether he plays on the right or the left, I think, to be honest, Hume should play in his natural position and A9 adjust. One of them, he's the one coming in out of position. So I don't know. I presume it's just what they've said. Hume is better on, he plays right when Serkin's there, but
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
there was
no,
something
I mean
for it.
they did say like Hume has played left back before, but I mean I can't remember playing left back for us. He might have done, but he's predominantly right-footed, and I think like Luke O'Nien is comfortable on both feet. So for me, it just made more sense to put Luke on the left because he's got a better left foot than Hume. And it's like back with those that old cliche, no, of like was it square pegs and round holes and things like that. I mean, it's two players out of position rather than just one. So I don't know, Dermot, were you baffled by that? Because later in the game they swapped again, didn't they?
did they swap them over as well? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and then obviously the
Elisa came on.
O9
Yeah,
came off and
yeah.
Elisa came on, and so again they've got like three players to choose from there for two positions.
Mm.
Like they have further up the wings, and yeah, they've got. I mean, you know what these last couple of games have shown us is that we have got options, and we don't have too bad a squad when things go wrong and we lose players. And Luke O'Nien's filling in everywhere. He's going to end up in goal before long, because he's playing every position across the back, and he can play in midfield as well. What I do think is that there may not be a place for Luke O'Nien soon enough, because I think those two centre halves we saw last night are the best centre half pairing we're going to have, especially
Correct.
against big teams.
Yeah. In terms of solidity, I think you bang on. But uh, I think that if you take O9 out, you don't get something with Ballard and Mepner that you get with O9, and that ability to play, like 60-yard balls. I don't think like maybe they can do it now and again, but Luke O'Nien, it's just natural to him. He's got that in his locker. You know what I mean? He can set us on the attack and just take a quick free kick, ping it to the other side, and run the attack. I don't think Mepner and Ballard can give you that as much as Luke does.
And
I
I
wouldn't
think
be surprised. Sorry, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that on Friday. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop back into wing backs and put A9 back in a back five and give, say, in what's going to be a intense physical game. Say even give Tommy Watson, like you said before, get him off the starting 11, and play 5-3-2 and leave Robertson and Watson out and bring Elisa in. I wouldn't be surprised if A9 goes back to that position on Friday.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I could see that because I think
I wouldn't be
Serkin might be
surprised
back.
as well.
Or yeah, Serkin, Elisa might be. Well, Elisa will be there. Serkin might be back. Hume right wing back. I mean, you could put even. We saw that Conley can play at number 10 now as well. He did all right against Millwall, so you could have him just behind Isidore and have like a midfield three of Job, Regan, and Neil. I think yeah, that might work. That might work.
I think Luke O'Nien doesn't get the credit for what he's the best at the club at, is bringing the ball out from the back. He's better
Yeah.
than Ballard and Metham at doing that. I mean, those two are two big lads, and they were strong and solid last night, and we'll probably need them against Sheffield United. But they don't bring the ball out as well as Luke O'Nien does. He's very comfortable on
Yeah.
the ball. at the back. He's got better over the years, Luke O'Nien, in every position he plays.
Yeah, I think he studies every role that he plays, doesn't he? And he kind of like he tries to perfection it, doesn't he? He tries to get it to perfection, the role. And I think he's found his role at centre back now because he's got the whole game in front of him and he can see everything. I think when he plays right back and he often finds himself running back rather than going forward, looking forward. So yeah. Anyway, Mark, I was like torn between two man of the matches last night. I thought Chrissy Rigg, he was cracking. He was like a Duracell battery. He was just like running everywhere. He always wanted the ball. He was hassling. He was harrying. And the thing is that he lost the ball a couple of times, but within 10 seconds he won it back. And I thought he was like my first man of the match. And the second one was obviously Mep and was just like a brick wall. He just like stopped everything, tied it up, and got rid of it. So I don't know who you thought was your man of the match last night.
Totally agree with those choices. I think it's getting a bit boring choosing Mep in every game. I thought Ballard was good as well. So I agree. Chris Rigg was excellent yesterday. We've got a hell of a player in our hands. You know, he's just like, as they say in Spanish, madre mia. It's like, wow, what a player. What a player.
Yeah. Dermot, what do you think?
I'd agree with that. I was before Mark said it, I was gonna just mention Ballard as well. He cleared one off the line.
Yep.
It's very hard to choose between the two centre halves because they both, you know, they didn't have a lot to do because West Brom didn't want to go forward. But Ballard was getting booed, wasn't he? The first half by the West Brom fans because he put one on Madja the last time.
Yeah.
And Madja hardly got a kick yet last night. He was probably scared of Ballard. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a worry where we're naming the two centre halves as man in the match. You know, Chris Rigg did get on the ball a lot, but you know he didn't. He was as guilty as anyone of not creating as much as what we actually needed. He had a shot, a great chance in the second half that was an amazing block by the West Brom defender.
Yeah.
That was we had two good chances in the second half. It was that and Paddy Roberts who slid one past the post, and the offside goal. So to sum up the second half, we were better. We had more chances, but we didn't create that much.
Well, there was the Roberts one, wasn't there, as well, where he kind of like opened his body up and he like tried to slide into the corner with his left foot and it just went wide. But yeah, the Rigg one, I was listening to Robert Earnshaw on Sky Sports after the match, and he was like saying he should have scored. I was like, it's a bit much that because it was a pretty good block. I mean, he didn't have much time to get a shot off, did he? He tried to get a shot as fast as he could, and the guy just threw himself in the way of it. So I think that was a bit of a harsh comment on him. Mark, we know that Dan Neil, we know what he can do. He's a good player, but he's still learning this role in the defensive midfield role. I think he does it all right, but I think just because he's a player that likes to get on the ball. He likes to have touches. He likes to get on the ball. He likes to run forward. He likes to have shots outside the area. He's not getting that opportunity. He's not getting as many touches on the ball, and so we're not noticing him. I think if you compare him to when Corey Evans played for us, when Corey Evans played, you noticed Corey Evans, even though he had the same role. Why are we not getting the same thing from Dan Neil? Why are we not noticing him as much?
I think he's just having to adapt to a new role in a specific system that's maybe, you know, not as open as previous years because it's a better league against better teams. So he is your pivot in the team at the minute. So I think he's getting better game by game. He's getting more mature. You know, he cost us a few points towards the start of the season with a bit of immaturity. So it would be nice to see him be more ambitious with his passes, but I think he's just having to keep it simple in his role. Yeah.
Dermot, would you consider switching him for Job? Because I remember Job against Portsmouth away, I think Job kind of filled in because did Dan Neil, was he suspended for that game? I think because he got the red card, didn't he? Was it against Burnley? He got a red card?
And Job slot in as kind of a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, in that game, yeah. And then Brown played as well because that's when Alan Brown came in for him. And Job played the defensive, and I thought like Job did really well. So would it be worth switching up? Do you remember his thing or not?
I think Job is better the further forward he is. He's a big lad. He can get a head on things. We need Job getting up almost up with Isidore at times, and we need to get more balls into the box for them. I think that could have give us something last night. But they're definitely the three, aren't they? Rig, Job, and Dan Neil. There's there's not much else at the moment. With Brown injured. I think that's where we possibly need to strengthen, because we can't guarantee they're going to play every game from now to the end of the season. There's going to be injuries. They're going to get tired. I think we need something else in there. So maybe what you're saying is that's maybe what one area that we need to strengthen in the centre of the pitch. Alan Brown's out for a couple of months now, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah. No, I think if you move Job and you replace him with Neil, I think you lose something, don't you? Because like Neil isn't going to give you that same high press energy that Job has. But I think Neil is going to give you that kind of like composure and skill on the ball and pick a pass. But I think it's a difficult one, isn't it, to choose from? Because I mean,
he had a good game last night, Dan Neil, as well.
I don't think he was playing bad. I think that he's just like I don't think he looks comfortable because he's not getting involved as much. Like the ball seems to just pass him by because it gets passed by him. They miss him out quite a lot. So I just think that if he was further forward, I think you'd see much more of him. I think he'd be more comfortable and the fans would be more comfortable. It's just because he's in that role. He's not getting on the ball as much, and I think people think, he's invisible. He's invisible, but he's not. I think he does everything he has to, doesn't he? But it's just a boring role, isn't it? Really.
I think one thing that those three do give us, the three young kids basically, and they've got plenty of enthusiasm and plenty of running. They're very good at winning the ball high up the pitch. When we do lose it, we'll win it back very quickly, and I think that's part of our success in the opposition's half of the pitch. We're very good at winning the ball back off them and pressing, and I guess that's because there's the three energetic young players as well. I think all of them do it. Rig does it. Rig's good at it. Job's good at winning the ball back, and Dan Neil is as well. So I think there's more to come from those three.
Well, and then hopefully Samet, if he ever gets fit as well. I mean, he should be fit. They said December, I think, something like that. Lebris said. So hopefully he comes in as well. Right, Mark. Does Regis Lebris have a plan B? Because our attacking player just seems to be like these triangle patterns down the wings, and it just looks like that's basically been nullified by every opponent we play, and we just keep on persisting with it. So, is there a lack of a plan B?
I think other years I'd say yes. This year I'd say no, because I think the plan A overall is working well, right? And I think he was right in saying that the plan A can involve lots of different aspects, and I think he was right in saying that the corners were rubbish, the free kicks were poor. So I think if you do your free kicks and your corners, we need to improve on that. So if you want to call doing your corners and free kicks a plan B, then yes, a plan B. But I think stick to the plan and improve the corners and the free kicks. I think they were poor yesterday.
Well, yeah, I mean, like 13 corners in the match, and I don't think any of them came to anything. Did they? Not really.
Yeah.
And when you got Ballard and Mepham and Isidore in there,
they're not using their strengths at all.
I think
rubbish.
I think the only two were mentioned before. Tommy Watson took two short ones, and they almost created something. But the ones that Paddy Roberts took, he kept like lofting them too high over the back end of the goal.
Yeah.
And they said on Sky in the commentary, said he's got no chance. Nobody's going to get ahead on that and guide it goalwards and get it anywhere with any power on it. So yeah, there was some poor corners last night, definitely.
But like for example, in a game like last night when we didn't really seem threatened by West Brom because they just parked the bus, we can see that we've got loads of possession, but we're not doing anything. We've only got 2 shots on target. Is it not worth throwing on? I don't know, like Aushish, something a bit different. You know what I mean? Like
doesn't trust him, does he? Doesn't want Aushish.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? I mean, I think isn't it just like give it a try, like give him a chance to redeem himself, and he might come up trumps.
I thought Yeah, go on. Sorry, Mark. You.
I just think that's what's changed a little bit from last year. That they're wanting to not lose games in the last 10 minutes by committing two further forward and just slowly build on the point, stop them getting 3 points. And I think it's in the long run, we hope it's going to work. I think it's just a change of strategy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we're a defensive dull team in the last 4 or 5 games. We've drawn 5 games on the track. I think West Brom probably are. West Brom have drawn more than we have. They've drawn 8 out of 9.
Something like that. Yeah, it was something daft, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think we've gone for the win in every game. We were certainly the only team trying to win it last night.
Yeah.
But I think it's the lack of strength in the squad and the lack of substitutes to bring on. He only brought 1 sub on against Millwall. Did he bring 2 on last night? Mayenda and Elise.
Yeah.
You should have a bench where you're able to bring all your subs on to try and affect the change in the last 20 minutes, and we haven't got that. Or he doesn't trust that we've got a strong enough bench to put people like Barr and Ashishi on that he hasn't wanted to play.
Yeah, no, I think like last night as well, Isidore, I think there was a few times where he got balls down the wings played into him, and he got the team forward, held the ball up, laid it off, but then he was just kind of like walking into the box. I was like, listen, you've done your job, now get in the bloody box. You know what I mean? So he was getting the ball, holding it up, getting us upfield, laying it off, and then he's just like kind of like standing there in the wing. I'm thinking, well, if you're our main striker, mate, you got to get in the box because nobody else was getting in the box. So I think like we need to get him involved more. But as soon as he gets the ball and lays it off, he needs to kind of like get back in a position ready to receive something. But he was just kind of like, yeah, I've done my bit. I'll stay on the wing. But yeah,
he's a finisher as well, isn't he? A couple of goals he's got have been great finishes. The one he scored the other week, the hooked goal in the box.
Yeah,
if he gets the service, he'll score goals. He's got a touch of class about him. So I wouldn't complain.
And like that finish last night as well, man. It was just like a little deft touch with his left foot to get in front of the defender. That's like what we've been missing. So that's the kind of service he needs, isn't it? Right then, Mark, Sheffield United on Friday, another tough game. What team are you going for? We've got a couple minutes left.
Right. I think that's a very difficult game. I think Sheffield United have played a bit weaker teams than us, so I'm going to put my neck on the line. I think if we have our good defensive solidity, I think we need Luca 9 on Luca 9 form, winding a couple of them up. And I think if we wind the crowd up early, I'm going to go for a 1-0 sneaky win. I'm feeling confident.
Okay,
I think it's a typical Sunderland way of having 5 draws in a row and then winning their most difficult game.
Well, hopefully. Dermot, very quickly, mate, before we cut off.
Yeah, I think we could go and win down there. Team-wise, he could play Mayenda, couldn't he? He could. I don't know if Connolly could possibly be back. It would be good if he was. I don't think you're going to see a Sheesh or Bar or Rusin. So I think Mayenda and Elise are maybe the only 2 changes that you could see from last night, unless anyone else that I can't think of is potentially back. Certain could be back, could he? So yeah.
All right.
I think we might get a win as well and go top again. You never know. Friday night.
Hopefully. How are the lads? Right. Thanks, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll speak soon. Ta-ra.
Cheers
now.
Hi, my name is Ian McNee. I've been supporting Sunderland since 1957. I was born in Seaham, but I now live in Wuppertal in Germany, and I'm the vice chairman of the German Black Cats.